So really what we're going to be talking about is, with regards to transportation, is what we drive. This is really what gets us the emissions from our transportation. Not only what we drive, but the fuel we use and how much we drive. And so that's what I'm going to focus on today. So within our region, there's a lot of transportation amongst the counties. And that's just the nature of the business, and that is why it is so important that when we move forward, we really look at this as a regional issue, because each of us are doing things within our counties, but we really need to figure out how to better connect that. But one of the things that we really need to tackle is kind of that last mile. As you can see by the details here, we have over 82% of the trips are unrelated to work. And 29% of those are a mile or less. And those 29% are the ones that we call convertible trips. Those are the ones that we can really focus on taking people out of their cars and having them walk or bike to locations. And there's a lot of difficulties in moving that forward. We're expecting by 2035 a 47% increase in trips. And that's due in part to a population increase, employment increase, households, and auto ownership increase. So this is going to be a challenge for us to really bring these numbers down. In addition to that, funding has decreased because of the economy. We've had funding decreases to the transit sector. So these are challenges in moving this forward. And one of the things I want to highlight, boy, just do what Jennifer did. Okay, if you look at this map up here, this is projected population growth. So you see these darker areas. Down here, the employment growth is in these areas. So you can see that these folks moving in these areas are likely going to have to do a lot of transport, a lot of driving, or at least somehow getting to these areas of employment. So that's another challenge that we really have to look at, is how we address that. So in looking at this, community design and travel behavior are very important. And one of the things that we really focus on are the 5 Ds. And really what this is saying is, if we can design our communities with density, and we can make sure that the needs that people have are within a short distance, within a walking distance, that there's mixed use in that area, and that we can make transit easy, accessible, and a pleasure, then we really can pull these people out of their cars and get them on the sidewalks, on their bikes, and in public transportation, and therefore really decreasing the vehicle mile travel. So if you look at the graphics here, the pictures, that top one is something that I watched go up right across from the government center. This is a view from the platform of the Metro Rail system. And it's this several-story parking garage. So does that encourage people to use public transportation? Not so much. But if you look at the one below that, that's really what we would like to move towards, is public transportation connecting to a trolley, which is connecting our communities to these public transportation hubs, and having folks be able to bring their bicycles on the buses and the trolleys so that they really can, again, convert that last mile of travel. So in Miami-Dade County, we have some examples, and we have some real numbers to show that these transit-oriented developments are really very successful, and they really not only contribute to the livability of our community, but contribute to our economy as well. So, sorry. This is what happens when you're not an expert on a particular topic. I have to look at my notes. So we've been able to show in Miami-Dade County that our current transit-oriented developments have brought in an annual revenue in excess of $3 million. So those are real numbers that we can communicate to our elected officials and show them that this is really making a very positive impact on our community. We've also found that the I-595 express bus service has been a very successful initiative, and it's reducing carbon dioxide equivalents, and we're expecting that it'll continue to reduce by 340 metric tons by 2015. So what we're talking about is really to bring this back to the Regional Climate Action Plan. Our goal is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by planning, designing, and prioritizing walkable, affordable communities supported by sustainable multimodal transportation. So again, getting folks out of their car, not only focusing on public transportation, but really looking at how they can get on foot and on bike, and that also has a lot of health benefits associated with it. So what we need to do is shift these trips, and the way we do it is we enhance our community design and increase transportation options. And what's needed for that, and that's where you come in and your support and advocacy, is we really need to increase funding for walking, biking, and transit projects. And we need more infill transit-oriented development, and we need policies to really support that. So this is what we really want to look towards, rather than this triangle being upside down, which is the way it is now, where cars really are the bulk. We want to shift it and have it where walking and biking and mass transit are the bulk of our transportation options. And what we need to do, and this is what Jim said earlier, and you've heard from a lot of the other speakers today, is there are several levels that we need to work on. And what we need to do is look at how these things are funded and see what we can do to change that way, the funding models. And that's where you come in, because you talk about how important it is that our communities are designed this way and we have these options. And looking at how we can really change the policies and the performance measures that are used to develop these funding models. So I want to end with just giving you a very short list of some of the different agencies and organizations that are not only engaged in this particular transportation and mobility-oriented work, but these are some of the different organizations in your communities, in your region, that you can learn more about, become connected to, become involved in. A lot of them have public processes when they're doing the planning and the different funding opportunities. And for example, one of the things that the 4-county folks just did is the MPOs worked together and applied for funding. And we just found out yesterday, I think, that we got some funding that's going to allow us to look at the vulnerabilities of our transportation infrastructure to climate change and begin to look at solutions and how we're going to address that. So these are very important agencies, and your connection and your involvement in them is how we're going to really move the bar on this. Thank you.